who was just like, what just happened? And it was a very funny and hilarious moment. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Traumatic for him.
I wanted to crawl into the closet and hide for the rest of youth group after that. Welcome to the 42 Podcast, where we discuss life together, looking for answers to life, the universe, and, well, everything else. Here are your hosts, Rob and Lindsey. Hey, everybody. So it's a bit of a different week. Lindsey isn't able to be here this week to podcast with me, so I kind of made a bit of an executive decision on, what the podcast would look like. Because I don't like talking to myself, I do that plenty all the time, I figured it would probably be better if I had someone to talk with. And not just someone, but probably someone who can give a little more enlightening into, life and what it is with me and ministry and life together and how that works, what that looks like, and some of the craziness that is, putting up with me. And of course, the best person to speak with putting up with me is my wife, who I have not actually named in the podcast at all. I've always been a little vague and sketchy about that. But I do love her. I'm just a little guarded sometimes. But without me talking any more, this is my lovely wife.
Hello, everyone.
You can't see the loveliness through podcasting, but she's a lovely woman. And you and I have been married for just about
13 years.
13 years. Do you feel like it's been 13, or do you feel like it's been less than, or more than, or why am I still married to him?
Depends on the day.
Thanks. Love you too. But yes, we've been married for just shy of 13 years now. And was thinking about this the other day. You and I have known each other for about 16 years.
Yeah.
Which for me just kind of blew my mind, because outside of family, like mom, dad, and siblings, I've not had anyone in my life that long.
Yeah, okay.
Which has been great, because you and I have shared a lot of life together. Mm-hmm. And we've gotten a lot of stories and ministry moments over the years, and I figure you can help enlighten and give voice to some of those moments. And you just shared one a moment ago before we started that I count as a traumatic moment. You find it funny, and years later it is kind of funny. But in the moment I was a little traumatized. But would you like to share that one?
So it was probably our second or third year of ministry, something like that. And one of our former students ran up to Rob and yells, "Belly bump!" and starts running. It feels like slow-mo across the youth room, sticks out small stomach that she has to belly bump Rob, who is just like, what just happened? And it was a very funny and hilarious moment. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Traumatic for him.
Yeah, I wanted to crawl into the closet and hide for the rest of youth group after that. Wonderful young lady. She's grown into an amazing young lady, and we're proud of her, but definitely a moment where it was, whoa, I'm out of here. But yeah, we've had some weird, fun, goofy moments. You deal with kids, and you get that anytime. And dealing with kids, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna come across horrible, but please translate for me, because this is one of the many things that you do well, is translate my general stupidity and ignorance into not stupidity and not ignorance.
It is true. Okay.
You do really well with kids.
Yes, I do.
So we have 2 kids, and you do well with them, but also you are professionally, what are you working towards professionally?
Well, currently I am a paraprofessional at our local elementary. However, I am currently working on my Master's of Education in school counseling.
Yeah, and you had you had an opportunity several years back to actually start working on your master's, and you put that off to raise our kids. And one of my favorite endearing stories and moments was when we had our first kid, Ray. You took your maternity leave, and you were going to go back to work. And we made all the arrangements. We figured out how we were going to do, life with a baby and careers. And you made it about 5 minutes down the road before you called me, going, "Nope, I'm going to quit. I want to be with our kids."
Yeah, I had to keep a stash of makeup in the compartment of the car so that way I could touch up my makeup every morning before I arrived, looking decent to work.
And you are a force of nature with raising the kids. I mean, you did homeschooling with them early on. You started getting them into reading and writing, and you did a lot of work in trying to make sure that they would be able to not just walk into kindergarten, but have some knowledge, have some ability, and that seeing you do that was incredible. And then seeing you transition that into a job and career now has been amazing as well, because now that the kids are older and they're in school full time, you are the one going to work every day, and I'm the one who's at home. This year of COVID, I keep calling it my year as the housewife.
He's a really good housewife.
I do the dishes. I clean. No, I don't clean.
No.
But I cook and do laundry.
Yeah, we're still working on the cleaning part. Yeah.
Good luck with that. My cleaning is chaos. But, you and I have really tried to make this life and living and child raising and parenting and ministry. We've tried to find partnership in it at every point that we can. But I kind of want to diverge a little, because there are some fun questions and adventures and things that we've had, and I think this is one of those fun little rabbit trails of our family, if you will.
Okay.
Remember the first time we went to Disney?
Oh goodness. Okay.
Do you remember driving onto Disney property the first time, or what our kids were thinking when we went under that Disney arch?
They were like, "What's wrong with Mom and Dad?"
Yeah, you and I are sitting in the front of the car, and we're driving onto Disney property, and we get under that arch that says, "Welcome to Disney World," and we're giggling, and we're laughing, and we're doing this so hard that we're crying, and our kids are sitting in the back.
What?
And I'm stubborn and have a fear of flying, so we drove to Florida, and we got there the day before, we got unpacked, we had a day to settle, and then they're back in the car as we're going to Disney. And I really have to imagine the kids were just like, the parents have finally snapped.
Yeah.
They've lost it. We're in the car again. They're laughing and crying and happy about this. But
yeah.
That was an incredible trip, especially seeing Adeline's eyes light up when we saw the castle for the first time. Oh my goodness,
yeah.
And those have been some neat adventures that we've done with Disney, but also with a favorite. Addie was talking about this today. Chincoteague.
Oh yes, that is her favorite vacation place. Even more so, I think, than Disney, which is really weird.
Well, she loves horses.
Yes.
Which has been a grand adventure as well, that we've been learning and becoming horse people, I guess, kind of her having horse lessons and what that means. And wow, okay.
Yeah.
I learned to ride Western saddle, which she's learning with English and everything. That's out of my league.
I never learned to ride, so it's all out of my league.
But you have done well with riding, because we went riding.
Yeah.
Riding in quotations, guided riding.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I don't know if that's necessarily considered riding per se.
There were horses. It was a trail. We just had someone who was leading the horses on the trail.
You were incredibly trained horses.
Ponies, maybe.
Yeah, but that too.
It's been fun. That's been a neat little adventure in life of, walking into the stalls and, I stepped in horse again.
Yep, poop happens.
Poop happens a lot. And just because I guess it's been happening in our life and it's one of those poop happens. How's car shopping going for you?
Yeah, it's lovely. I love it.
We've been doing some car shopping and learning a whole new area of headache.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think I'd rather buy a house.
Yeah, one of these days. But that's been an interesting even adventure for us of this new level of car shopping. And
trying to find the right one, the right mileage with the right feel and everything else with driving it. Yeah, it's so much fun. So much fun.
Yeah, but that is part of the grand adventure of life. Yeah. See, now this is the fun part where you've been stressing about your ability to keep the conversation going, and this is the moment where I'm going, what were like the 30 other questions I had or points of conversation? And this isn't live, but I won't edit this out either because this is part of the joy of podcasting of some days you just hit those roadblocks and go, hi, how you doing? So we'll take a moment and say, could you like and subscribe and do all those fun things with social media and the Apple Podcast and Spotify? Because the more you do that, the more it helps us get this podcast out to people and helps the conversation continue along. Do you have any questions? Go ahead.
I won't say it's a question, but I did remember another story that ties into youth group and family dynamics.
Oh, okay.
There was a time our son was, I think this might have happened last year when he was in 4th grade, and he was having a really rough time, really rough day. And one of our youth leaders at the time, he's a young adult, he caught on to what was happening, and he went up to him and said, hey, buddy, what's going on? How can I help you? Do you want to talk? And it was one of those things that was just amazing and eye-opening to me, and kind of like a circle of ministry, I guess you could say, because we helped minister to this young adult when he was going through a lot of stuff. And now here he is as a young adult and able to minister to our own children. And to me, that was just one of the most amazing experiences that I could ever have, I think, as a parent, having raised 2 children in ministry with all the craziness and headaches that involves. So for me, it was just one of the most amazing things. I don't know. I just wanted to say it real quick.
No, and I remember that. And I think it's fair to say, because it was Colin, and Colin has been on the podcast in the past. If you remember, he's one of the guys who helped me with the Let's Kill Hitler bonus episode as we were planning out what we were going to do in the Let's Kill Hitler episode with Lindsey. Colin is a great young man who has... I'm proud of the arc that he's taken in growing up in life, and he's given us some interesting ministry stories as well. He's the only student who has ever gotten the cops called on youth group for me.
Oh my word, yeah.
But that was a neat little thing as well. That was a misunderstanding between a youth event and someone driving by the church.
Yeah. Yep.
But hey, that was actually a great night because then I got to talk with the police officer who showed up, get him some coffee, and make a good community connection into the community that we were growing into at that point. And it really is neat looking back and looking at the students that we've had over the years, and I'm proud of them. I'm I'm amazed at the young men and women that they've been growing up to be, and seeing how they've matured, what they're doing with their lives, what they are seeking to bring in betterment into this world, whether it's through small kind actions or grand developments that they're working on. So it has been, I have to say, it's been one of the most amazing things about being in ministry is how the students grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine with what you do, that has to be a neat thing, because you're in some of the early development and progress with young men and women as they're growing up, and then seeing a little bit, because you've made some connections with some of the kids from both of our kids' classes and who they're turning into, and how that has changed and grown in their lives, how they've changed and grown. That has been probably one of the neatest and most rewarding parts of ministry.
Mm-hmm.
That is a good observation. Do you have any other thoughts or questions? I mean, this is your chance to put me on the spot with a microphone in front of the public.
Not that I can think of at the top of my head. No.
She's passing up on the ability to get me to say that she is always right.
Well, I mean, that's an obvious understatement, but...
No, you passed up on it. That's gone. That moment has passed and gone. There is no more. Just because it's a fun little shout out and goofiness. Do you see that bag over there? Would you grab that and open it?
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
You want to describe what's in that?
It's Grumpy.
Grumpy who?
Grumpy from the Seven Dwarfs.
Yeah?
Yes. And he has flowers on him. It looks like a garden decoration.
There we go. It's a garden gnome.
Garden gnome. There we go.
Any idea why garden gnomes are important and why I might have a grumpy garden gnome?
I have no idea.
She's trying to look innocent. Not very well. But why do I have a grumpy garden gnome?
Because it connects back to family. And a garden gnome that went missing and you got blamed for.
I got blamed for how many years?
A while. Quite a while.
Interestingly, this is was it the second or third time it's gone missing?
Oh my goodness, I don't know.
Okay. The first time it went missing...
It was you.
What are you talking about? I was innocent in this. I received a package in the mail from an unknown sibling who sent me a garden gnome from my parents' house. And where did that garden gnome live?
In the youth room.
That became a fun youth group mascot for a period of time, which was a neat thing we had going for a bit. Mm-hmm. Right now we have Carl the skeleton. Carl Jr.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one's a little twisted, but yeah.
No, I'm a little twisted.
That is true.
You've been married to me for almost 13 years, and you haven't figured out I'm slightly demented.
Oh, I've always known. Yeah.
Uh-huh. You've always known?
That's not a surprise.
Uh-huh. Why'd you marry me?
I have no idea.
You love me.
Yes.
She's not saying this being coerced. I promise you. That is a neat thing, thinking that we've been married for 13 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, not quite yet, but yes, soon.
Okay, so it'll be under a month by the time this episode comes out.
Yes, that is true. Okay.
So, just shy of 13 years. Mm-hmm. And that was quite the adventure, getting married and figuring out how to start life together. Mm-hmm. I mean, do you remember that first apartment?
I loved that first apartment.
You know, I did too.
It had no kitchen, but I loved that apartment.
It had a kitchen. It could only fit you and I standing back to back and rotating in a circle as we were trying to make packed lunches for the next day and wash all of the dishes. And And it had that old style.
I was going to say, you're packing lunches and washing dishes at the same time because there was no actual counter. It was just a big sink.
Well, no. We had that little...
the little butcher's block thingy.
Yeah, that we finally burnt last year because we've had that for 11 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was a neat little apartment. The dining room was the hallway.
Yeah. But hey, it overlooked horses, which was really cool.
It did overlook a beautiful horse ranch. And I guess I won't say the town, but that was a neat little town because it was also, well, my last name, your married last name.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And that was a neat little spot to be like, oh, okay, we're in Blur Town.
Yes.
Or Ville or whatever it was. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Is that town or Ville?
It was a Ville. Definitely a Ville.
Okay. Cruella de Vil.
Now for everybody that knows our last names, they'll know where we lived.
Yeah. Yeah, 13 years ago.
Yeah. Not anymore.
No. Haven't lived there for a while. Okay. Since I started singing it, and it's always a fun question, who's your favorite Disney villain?
This one's always a tough one for me because I'm team princesses all the way. But
Disney villain.
I know. I'm not sure. I'm really not.
Really?
Like, do I have to choose a villain?
Yeah, a villain.
You see, it's hard now because you were just seeing Cruella de Vil a minute ago. So now I'm like, ooh, Cruella de Vil. So sure, Cruella de Vil. Why not?
Okay. Fine. Who's team princess, favorite princess?
Well, Belle.
Ah.
Belle, because of the book, she wanted a library. However, also Anna, current princess, is really good too.
I know we've been married for 13 years. I know these princesses are like your princesses, but I'm still judging you by that.
I know. It's okay. I judge you all the time. It's all
Brave.
Good. Oh, Merida's really good too.
Merida, right?
Yeah, not Meredith. No. Merida's really good too. There's so many of them.
There you go. Meredith from The Office is a Disney princess.
But no. I side with Anna though, just because of the whole chocolate obsession. She totally gets me. Yeah.
Whatever. All right, fun little goofiness aside. Yeah.
Who would you be or who is your favorite Disney villain?
Oh, I answered this last week.
Oh, that's right.
You're still behind, aren't you?
No, I did forget though. I forgot.
Uh-huh.
But now you're just going to have to answer
Jafar
again.
and Hades.
There we go.
It's Jafar and Hades. They're like my top two Disney villains. We had an offshoot discussion about Ursula that was pretty neat. Learned some things. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? I mean, again, this is your chance. This has been...
I don't at the moment.
Okay. Now, I have to say, we started trying to do this episode, and you were rather shy about it. Mm-hmm. But you've warmed up.
Yes, I struggle with anxiety, for those of you who do not know.
And you have a heart and compassion for people who have been dealing with or struggle with. Mm-hmm. It's part of why I think you've chosen the career field that you have to study.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you do have a heart of helping people, helping them understand the motivations, the deep-rooted stresses, the desires that drive them, and to speak and give power or take power from the best and worst of an individual. Yeah. So, yeah, and I commend you for that. There's, even before you were studying this, there are countless times that I still do pick your mind on, okay, help me understand some of the things going on behind, or what are the other observations that you've made. And, just in that alone, to me, you're invaluable as not just wife, but partner in crime with this, in having a second set of eyes that I trust explicitly, a second set of ears that I trust explicitly in what's going on around us. Oh. Another ministry moment just kind of passed through my mind. But do you remember when Ray was a wee little baby and would get fussy during some of the worship songs?
Oh, goodness. Are you talking about Sunday morning?
Yes.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And that confused one of the sweet old ladies of the church.
Whew. Oh, did more than confuse, but yes. Mm-hmm.
who wanted to know why our 6-month-old did not like the worship music.
Oh, no. Did not like church.
Well, he only cried during the worship music, and that's because the organ was slowly dying. And there were a couple notes that were just... Even the organist knew to try and avoid them if they could.
Yeah, but no, Ray would cry a lot in church because he was a newborn. Not a newborn, but he was a young baby. And so this little old lady was very concerned about the spiritual health of our 3-month-old at the time and came up to me one Sunday morning and said, I am so sorry, but I'm so concerned that why does your son not like church? And it took me a moment. I was like, I wanted to say he's a baby, but I recovered and I politely explained that, some of the notes that are sung in church or some of the noise that happens can startle a little one. Not that he doesn't like Jesus, but just that, there's a lot going on and to take in for a 3-month-old.
But again, and this is where I look and go, thank goodness I married you, because you are able to be gracious when I would have this dumbstruck look on my face of going, what? What the... Okay.
Can I just say, I know there's a lot of controversy behind masks, but that is one thing that I truly love about them. No one can see your facial expression anymore. You can stand there and be like, what in the world are you talking about? And they have no idea. They just think that you're really involved in the conversation. And it's, yep, absolutely.
I caught myself doing that this week where I was out. I don't remember where I was or what it was, but there was a situation where I was out and I observed something that was a little on the ridiculous side, and I know that I had a dumbstruck kind of what's wrong with you face? Mm-hmm. Which, thank goodness for my mask, because yeah, that's going to be interesting when we get into whatever our new normal is and don't have to wear masks anymore.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna survive the day, because I'm pretty sure I give off a lot of really weird random facial expressions throughout the day because no one can see what I'm doing with my face. And so when that mask comes off in who knows how long from now, it'll be an interesting thing. Well, that is for sure.
I mean, there is that big vaccine push.
Yes.
So I mean, come summer we might be back to something of a new normal. I don't know. I'm curious about that. For me, there's definitely a part of me that feels like the mask is now a part of what I would do normally in life moving forward.
Like anytime I have a cough, I'm just going to be like, mask up, man.
Well, not even when I have a cough, but it's going to be, it's become such a routine that there is a part of me that feels like naked if I'm outside of the house without a mask, just getting the mail, and it's, no, I'm 100 yards away from all the neighbors. I'm okay. But
no, I don't feel like that, but I will say I went to work one day without realizing I didn't have my mask on until I got into the faculty room and I put my lunch away. And somebody walks in and she's talking to me, and all of a sudden she has this really weird look on her face. And I'm like, why is she staring at me like this? And all of a sudden I was like, wait, something feels weird. And I touched my face and I'm like, oh, I'm naked. Not really, but my face was naked. And I quickly covered my face up. I was like, it's okay. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, there's only been one truly public situation in the past year where I did not have my mask on in public, and it felt weird. It really felt weird. And then just a week or so ago, I returned to that same situation, and this time I kept my mask on, but everybody else had theirs off, and they're eyeing me up like I'm the pariah now, and I'm like, hi, it's all good to see you. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting new social
Oh, my
norm
word, yeah.
to navigate with that. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Well, especially for you, because I mean, you live at the house, you work at the house.
Yeah, don't
Except for
remind me.
like Sunday mornings, you are at the house. So, I mean, for me, it's a little bit different because I'm in the public Monday through Friday, and then I'm at church on Sunday. So,
See, you're saying this, and you're just reminding me that I have to finish folding the laundry when we're done here. So talk longer. Give me a bigger break, please, please. No.
yeah, I make sure that he does all the house chores.
Yeah, I mean it will be an adjustment because you have been, the schools have been open, and you've been in school. Our kids have been in school, and it has been great because the efficiency of my work has kind of gone up. I can get things typed out faster, but the social part of my work is very different. That's an area of navigation in life that I'm still wrestling with. I don't know what it's going to be post this or what that new normal will look like, but that's a change that I'm starting to look at and question and wrestle with. And again, I mean, looking at how they're trying to ramp up the vaccines and get everybody taken care of by May 1. That's going to be interesting.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how that goes. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that is something else unique as well. I mean, going into, actually, you and I are recording this just before the 1 year anniversary of going into lockdown. And when they locked our state down, I mean, they locked it all down. When I remember this, when the governor announced that they were going to start closing different businesses, we still didn't have a clothes washing machine at the time. Our old one had just totally died on us, not repairable died, and so I was going to the laundromat every Friday, and if you remember, it was a Thursday night, we were cooking, getting dinner ready, and that announcement came out, and it looked like they were going to be closing the laundromats.
Yeah.
At which I'm going, oh, crap.
Yeah, we ran to quickly buy something. We're like, anything, we'll take whatever you got.
We spent... What was it? We spent 2 months until everything started opening up again, and when we could find a washing machine, doing our clothes in a camper washing machine in the bathtub.
Yeah, we're like, honestly, we don't care whatever you have. We're like the only family who does not need the toilet paper. We're good on sanitizer, but we need a washing machine.
Yeah, the run on toilet. I saw the writing on the wall with that one. I bought bidets.
Oh, my word.
And you thought I was insane for that. But a year later, we have the cleanest butts.
Wow.
Hey, we made it through the toilet paper shortage. That's all I can say.
Anyways.
Yeah. But no, I mean, this year has been an adventure. And I think I said this early on where, I mean... I'm thankful for the relationship you and I have because, this could have been...
I would have gone crazy. I mean, I've lost a lot of my mind already. I would have furthered that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's provided its own new, unique challenges. I mean, those first 3 months, we were all stepping on top of each other, didn't know what to do, we're climbing the walls. And
why are you still here?
Didn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've made all of this year work in every weird little bump and oddity we've had. I mean, that's even been what we've tried to do with the life and ministry that we have together. Is as we hit those bumps and oddities, just kind of roll with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's kind of a fair question. Because the podcasters hear me in one way, and I do present myself in a very particular way with the podcast. Would you say I'm relaxed, high-strung normally? I mean, what would be a descriptor that you would use? And you can be brutally honest.
You know how, like, you always say when I ask you how how these jeans make me look or how this dress looks.
Does my personality make me look fat?
And you're like, it's a trap. I feel like this is a trap right now.
You got to do the Admiral Akbar voice with that. It's a trap.
Yeah, that. There we go. It's a trap. Definitely trap. Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's not a trap.
That's what they all say.
Okay, well, fine. That's a nice way of saying I'm entirely high-strung and off the walls. She's not denying it. I love you, too. I'm not that high-strung, am I?
No, you're not.
She's making me question myself now. Am I high-strung? I can be intense, but I didn't think I was high-strung.
Now, for the next 2 days, that's what you're going to be thinking in the back of your mind. Whenever you're silent, you're going to be like, am I really? What am I? Who am I?
I'm not that into questioning myself right now. I'm rather sane, I think. Or at least me, myself, and I think I am.
After being 10 people this week at school, I'm definitely not sane. I don't know who I am.
Yeah, you've had a busy week at school.
Yeah.
Just, again, transitions and life and COVID. And yeah, it's been weird.
Yeah.
But, okay. See, this episode has gone fairly well. We've had some fun. We've laughed. We've been able to talk through life and didn't have to be intense. You did good.
Phew.
Thank you.
Gold star.
Thank you for being the first true official guest on the main... I don't know what to call this. The main... It's all the same channel. Main episodes. There it is. Not bonus episodes. Main episodes. The first official guest. We have more guests coming. We do, which is going to be really neat. We've got one person who... I might have thrown a gauntlet down in that special episode calling out worship leaders, and someone has picked it up and said I'm uniquely challenged in my perspective on worship. Because I don't have a musical bone in my body. Okay, maybe I'm adding a little bit to what he said, but has picked up that gauntlet, and we're going to have him on to talk about worship in the near future, and... couple other things I'm trying to work on with that as well. So there are some really cool things coming down the road with the 42 podcast. In addition to that, not this episode you're listening to, but the next one, Lindsey will be back with us, and that is the book episode that we've been talking about and promising since, I guess, January-ish, of we would read a book, which is Nightmares and Dreamscapes by Stephen King, which I have read now. Hey, I enjoyed it, and I have been enjoying King a lot more, actually. But we'll be talking about the short stories out of that book, and I'll introduce a book that we're going to read that is not by Stephen King. Yeah, we got some neat discussions coming up, though. So that's definitely the next one, and we'll talk a little bit more about what's coming down the road in that episode as well. So, yeah. Are you still my wife?
I think so.
You think so? Well,
yeah.
Yes or no, and if not, give me the ring back.
Yes, definitely.
I love you too.
I love you too.
All right, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you. See ya.
Have a good week. Thank you for listening to the 42 podcast. Please take a moment to like and subscribe, and if you want to join in on the conversation, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter to add your voice to the conversation. Thank you.